Tina said, okay, we are ready.
Thanks, Debbie. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here for the Bond Oversight Committee. This is Gina Oberding speaking, the project manager for the bond projects. Today, I want to go over a bit of our timeline and provide some updates with my teammates, Brad and Adrian. We'll do a quick look at the financial review, and then I do want to talk a little bit today about a new initiative, the Ecological Guidelines and Tracker. And then at the end, we have I want to talk about a couple logistic things. So anybody else have anything they want us to address today? Okay. So project timeline, big picture, everything is on track. As we're still finalizing a couple project timelines as far as when some of the deliverables for our design projects will be in hand. But as of now, all of our projects are set. I'll be working with communications here in the next couple of weeks to really showcase some of the more deliverable dates. So like when we'll have design done versus when construction will start. We know a lot of the public wants to know, like, when is my park going to be under construction? So we'll be communicating that coming up soon. Right now, things are going great, and you'll hear more from my teammates in a bit. One of the new things I just created was a bit of kind of the project phases. So those that might have been involved in any other projects know that these projects come in phases. And so looking from left to right, the first phase of a project would be the concept or schematic design. Several of our projects are in that phase right now.
Go ahead, Amanda.
Oops. Are you sharing screen? Amanda, is that what you're doing?
I always do this. I always think that because I did this, I'm doing that, but I'm not.
Yeah, just a little button there.
Oh, I apologize. And Amanda always busts me. And then I never know. I am so sorry for those on screen. So there's the agenda for today, project timeline. Okay. So something new is just a kind of a glimpse in where are we with these projects. Starting from left to right, we've got concept and schematic design. That's really kind of drafting up what do we want this park to look at like, or this building, project to look like. So several of our projects are still in that phase. Several projects have moved on to the next phase, which is design development. That's when we've really decided more of a theme for the park, or a draft of the actual design and the sketches. It's just a little further along in the development architecturally. And so the Rec Center and Pirates Cove are two of those projects that have moved on to that phase. We have quite a few different kind of just operational and infrastructure discussion with those two projects in particular when it comes to what we can and can't do. And so those projects have moved along quite nicely. And then Miller Field is really moving along at a nice clip. So we're moving along on these projects. And then we do have 3 projects that will be moving on to construction if they're not already in that phase. Cushing Park is under construction. Emerson Park will be the next that will be undergoing construction. And then Rotolo Park is at the City Council approval level and will be undergoing construction in the near future. Does anyone have any kind of comments or questions? Is this useful? Comments and questions, and or is this useful? Do you like seeing it like this? Yes. I mean, this is very much an architectural type, language, but it helps. Victor doesn't know what we're talking about. No.
Like full Greek.
I did. Cool.
Nice. I like it. It's good.
But it kind of shows like,
Very
yeah, where are we in these things, and where are we from left to right? So, a little snapshot there. So. Okay, rec facilities. So this is for Brad to give an update on. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, Gina. So just to kind of give you an update on the recreation center, where we're at, the status of that one. We're on track with everything. Right now, we're really getting into a little bit more of the specifics of the equipment that's going to go into the aquatics area, into the mechanical rooms. And then also we're looking into finalizing a lot of different things that's going to happen into the locker rooms and that area too, as far as that being totally revamped. The other thing that we're looking at is we've come into a little bit of a snag as far as stormwater. So we're waiting for some geographical maps and stuff to come back from the consultants to see exactly how that's going to impact where the pickleball courts are going to be on the north-hand side. So we will update you as soon as we get further word from it. We don't want to be premature on kind of telling you exactly what we have. I mean, it's complicated right now. So we're working currently with our stormwater person, Tyler. You know, he's closely involved with this with us, and then also with the consultants. So hopefully by the next meeting we have next month, we'll be able to come back with some more information with you on that. But everything is going along good. The plans look good. We've just, you know, identified some areas in the aquatics area, exactly some space that will be where the hot tub, where the spa will be, and also the cold plunge pool. And then also we kind of narrowed down a little bit of how it's going to look as far as the storage areas and mechanic rooms, as far as spacing with those. So everything's coming along nice with the rec center. And Pirates Cove is right on track with the design stuff too. There's not a whole lot to report with that one. What we're looking at right now, the surveyors are out there today, right now, and they're overlooking everything too, you know, dotting their I's and crossing their T's with it. Also, the geotech stuff should be coming back soon, probably by next week, so we'll be able to tell a little bit more about moving forward with that one. We're also getting ready to have a meeting with BRS, who is the architecture, the designers for this team. What we're looking for is with that one is we're going to start narrowing down a lot of the mechanical equipment that will be on that site. So looking forward to that conversation. The nice thing that we have is the aquatic consultant on both the recreation center and the Pirates Cove is the same firm, Councilman Hunsaker. And so we've already crossed over some of that stuff that we're doing for the rec center mechanic room that will be the same thing with Pirates Cove. And the reason we're doing that is so that both facilities would have the same type of mechanical equipment, so that we don't have, so staff doesn't have to worry about having different procedures for various different types of equipment. So that's coming along good. So hopefully by the next time we meet also that we'll have a little bit more information, but we are right on track. We feel comfortable. If there's another area we're looking at Pirates Cove is we met with the electrical contractor or the electrical engineer, and there's some questions coming in with that one. So we're going to get involved with Excel Energy as far as power coming into the facility, what exactly is needed. And then also part of the survey they're doing today is locating where the current electrical feed is coming from, where the pump room is up to where the slide pump pit is, which is on the northwest side of the facility. So once again, things are looking good, and we're getting excited.
Any questions, comments, anything you're hearing from the community in regards to either one of these projects? Sarah, do you have anything to add as the recreation manager?
The only thing really I have is we had some structural engineering do a survey yesterday. Our current as-built of the facility don't really define whether some columns connect in certain places. So we did a walkthrough yesterday, and we're up in ceilings. Not me, I was watching. Him trying to decide if some joists connect or if they are completely disconnected. So that was quite entertaining to find all of those things. So that's my only update I have.
How close to houses are pickleball courts?
Thanks.
We had a consultant come back and think that they said 500 feet is what the distance is, and this one is 495 feet.
Okay.
So we're really close, and that is over to the east side of where the building is. So good question. So stay tuned. We will update you with some of the things that's happening with stormwater stuff too, as far as the pickleball courts. We have a plan B and C in place.
Are they gonna have pickle glass on them to like soundproof them?
That's not the plan right now.
Okay.
As designed right now, no.
Okay.
Got it. Pickle glass?
Yeah, my neighborhood just installed pickleball courts and they have pickle glass and you can't hear anything. It is wild. You're like right next to it, you can't hear anything. So,
That's cool.
yeah, just so you know.
Where do you live,
Well, and
Christian?
one of the advantages about the rec center, and if we are able to move forward with the pickleball courts, is Meadow Gold is the business right there. And so it's not like we have homes right there. Now, granted, they're across the street and that's something to be considerate of, but we have a business back there, so. Great, thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to our parks projects. Adrian?
All right, thanks, Gina. Bard Park, we've got our survey results back, 54 responses, so we're pleased with that. We're collaborating with Charles Hay World School STEM program. Those of you who remembered last month, our plan is to do Arboretum at Bard Park. So getting the science class involved over there could be really exciting for both them and us. Bellevue Park, our feasibility study has concluded. We've picked a location for the zoo barn. And let's see, Elizabeth is online. Tyler and I presented to the Sustainability Commission last month to talk about the FEMA floodplain and what we could and couldn't do in Bellevue Park. So working with them on some ideas that they may have for some planters or beds down in the floodplain at Bellevue. Council approved the contract on September 15th for the design. So design for Bellevue is, we're anticipating it's going to take around a year to complete the actual design. So feasibility study was just to find a spot within the park that we could build it, and the next part will be the actual design of the entire park. Cushing Park, those of you who've been by, a lot of activity going on right now at Cushing. So we got crews on both sides of Inca. They're working on subsurface for the playground and also starting to work on some clearing grub for the dog park. The fence should be going in any time over for the dog park area. And we're still anticipating playground equipment delivery first week in November. Emerson, council approved the construction contract on September 15th as well. The same contractor who's doing Cushing is also doing Emerson. So we're looking for them to move from Cushing over to Emerson once Cushing is wrapped up. Let's see, our Renew and Recreate web pages are updated. Next rounds of open houses are October and November. We have, I believe, Clarkson still. We haven't done one open house yet. That one's kind of delayed some. Let's see, any questions on those 4 projects? Oh, sorry, Rotolo, 10-6 is going to council for the construction contract of Rotolo. So this fall/winter, we'll have Emerson, Cushing, and Rotolo under construction. Hopefully completed by next summer for those 3 parks. Any questions from anybody on those?
Okay,
Easy.
now we got a little show and tell for you.
Yeah, Gina always puts pretty pictures in there.
Well, I think that's why you guys show up to these meetings. You like the show and tell.
Go ahead, Victor.
Quick question on
Yep.
Cushing Park. So the fenced off area, does that include the sign that communications is working on, or is that in or outside the fence?
That is outside the fence in the turf area.
Okay. And they haven't started yet, right?
Not that I'm aware of, no. All right, so we had our design team do a shade study at Northwest to look at potential areas to add trees. This very helpful to see where we lack trees within the park, so we can plant new trees and also position seating around shaded areas throughout the park. And we told them, no, that's not going to work for trees there. So anyway, this curve is historically very difficult for us to plow in the winter, and to add trees in that area, we didn't want to add a bunch of ice on that path. It's a highly used path throughout the metro area that connects the federal area down to the Mary Carter Greenway Trail on the Platte. So they also identified sick trees that could potentially be removed. Also want to add some more flowering trees throughout the park to add some color, as well as some larger shade trees. On the, let's see, that would be the south side of the creek that's going through there. It's kind of not unusable, but it's harder to access that side of the park. We're thinking more of potential native plantings or xeric plantings in that area. Anything to add, Gina? Gina got real excited about these shade.
Oh, I did. Because not being a landscape architect, I've never seen this kind of thing, but it was wise to do so that we could identify areas of opportunity for us to group trees together in a way that would provide ample shade. And then, I think part of the thing was maybe there are not trees that are completely sick that will be cut down tomorrow, but in the near future, is there an opportunity to replace trees with trees that may need to be cut down? So really looking at the future of our parks, I think was such a wise idea for us to do. And then to add colors down here is a crabtree, and then I think hawthorn is the one that's white. So won't that be lovely?
Question on that.
Oops, yep.
We identified a sick tree in a neighbor's property based on that sketch, or?
It looks like it might, well, yeah, you're right. That is interesting. I don't know what, I think that is just a dot that accidentally moved. I think the dot is on the other side of the fence.
There's definitely no trees in that industrial property.
And then, they might want a shade tree. Come on, Adrian. You don't think people work? No, I'm just kidding. Did Tyler rate, and I don't know the answer to this, any concern with trees and I don't know where the floodplain goes through there?
Tyler's been involved in most of every one of our meetings for every park. So he's got his eyes on all these projects as far as no rise and all that. So we're in good shape.
Cool.
Yep. And there's far less concern with this one as far as floodplain kind of thing, but.
Is there a question about crab apples? Would it be a tree that doesn't produce crab apples?
Most likely.
Okay, yeah, just because I think there's a concern with like dogs ingesting crab apples, that it's like toxic.
And this is an off-leash dog park.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was just curious if,
It's the seeds.
Yeah.
They eat a bunch of seeds, they got arsenic.
But you know what, it might not be a bad idea just to do a double check.
Yeah.
So,
also I'm assuming it would be really annoying to pick up all the crab.
right, no, our parks
You
team,
know, full-time parks person.
Yeah, exactly.
They catch them.
If you become a maintenance issue. Most of ours throughout the park are crab apple trees.
Okay.
So this is some early ideas or concepts on what the restroom area up top would look like. One thing that we did hear from the community, which surprised us all, was that they want a basketball area, a place where they can shoot hoops.
In the restroom.
So this was
yep,
Indoor.
this was a creative idea to put it on the back side of the shelter, on the back side of the restroom, to put a basketball hoop on the back side so that they could have their basketball shooting area, and we could also have a restroom. For those of you who know Northwest, we're kind of limited in that flat area up top, so this was a solution where we could get both in the limited space that we do have.
It seems like that would, if you have people in the pavilion
Well,
area,
I was
or
gonna
is it
say,
the restroom?
the echoing,
Pavilion.
like hitting the wall.
Yeah,
I misspoke with pavilion. This will not be like a reservable shelter for the area. It'll just be more like a shaded area with some picnic tables. When we met with the community, they didn't want a big reservable pavilion in that park. So more just shade for kids or parents who have kids on the playground and stuff while they're at the park.
It's super creative. My only question was the request from the community to have a half court, just one hoop. So my only concern, I guess, would be is if the desire was for it to be 4 basketball games in a court, would there be pushback around this? Which I think is super creative and I love it. I just want to make sure it matches with what we heard.
We didn't hear that they wanted a full court basketball court to play basketball. We heard they wanted a place that they could gather to shoot hoops.
well, and I think to your point, Tim, there is we will be going back to a second time on each of these projects, back to the community, say, we heard you, this is how we've incorporated these projects. So Northwest Greenbelt, they saw these projects at a neighborhood nights in June. We'll go back probably October, November, and we'll say, this is what we've designed. how do you feel about this? Now, granted, we have some limitations in this park. There's no way we can have a full-size court.
Sure.
But what we heard was, well, we play basketball on the street. Well, this is a lot safer. So we're hoping that it satisfies what people are looking for, but that will be the point of going back for a second open house.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's incredibly creative use of, I've walked my dogs there before, and you're right, there's really not a lot of flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you can kind of envision as you look through this, Tim, the area that is, you can kind of see the path in the middle there. So we'll have concrete that uses part of the path
Yeah, that's
for
awesome.
their basketball court. And then we can stripe the path and the extra concrete to kind of make a basketball park.
It's gonna win some kind of award, I think. Guarantee that.
We'll see. So,
And what is also here is, will be a new path that will lead from the bike path down here. So it will be, a 5% grade ADA accessible path that
Yes.
will lead from the bike path down here, kind of swoop out, be more of a gentle sloping up here to the restroom. So in addition, that will also allow some accessibility from the bike path.
and to reiterate what Gina kind of talked about, these are high-level concepts. We still have time to make any changes that the committee wants to this in particular design.
Just something to chew on, and probably more for the design team on the building. So if you miss the basketball and it goes over the roof and it hits the pavilion, does it roll back and get stuck? Yeah, I know we can't answer that, but I'm just looking at it on the screen. And
Oh.
it looks like if it goes over, so does there need to be a gap big enough there for a basketball to drop down? Or does it need to be flush so the basketball can roll all the way back?
Oh,
Go down into the
slope,
creek.
yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about on the roof. That was my second comment, is
Yeah.
it's a 5% slope, so if someone's a great shot like myself, and it just totally goes the wrong way, it hits that 5% slope, what does that look like? I don't know if there's anything you can do. Maybe you could grade in a small swale to, I don't know what that looks like, but as a
it could
non-hoops
be-
shooter myself.
It could be as simple as just flipping this. Then you're shooting more away from the.
Yeah, and I'll defer to the design team, just putting it out there that, kids are, if the ball gets stuck on the roof, you can have kids climbing on the roof.
Yep. Good point.
And they will find a way to get up there.
They will.
They always do. Been there, done that.
You were that kid.
I was that kid, yes.
Any other comments about this? This is helpful. Feel free, if you're online, to raise your hand and hopefully I'll see it. Okay. Well, anytime, again, like we said, we want to go back with these ideas to community, work with our communications team to get people to the table to, provide some more input. So I did, side note, reach out to the community leader in this neighborhood who we had met at the community night, and I kind of forwarded her some of the initial designs. And she was really quite excited, so she thought people would also be excited about that, so. Okay, so I'm gonna move us along.
Sorry, Gina, any more park-related questions before we move on?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Financial overview, some of the changes that you'll see from last month's report to this month is there was a change in the admin permits line. Specifically, actually, the project manager's salary was inadvertently allocated to a different account, like when I first started. And so it now is reflecting in this correct account staff salary. So that was the biggest difference here. The rest of the expenses really are related to design and, really nothing that really sticks out otherwise, just regular design fees, et cetera. So anyone from the finance team have anything else to comment on? I'd spoken with Kevin last week, and we decided that twice a year we will be reporting on the interest income that we were receiving from the bond. And so I will do that in October next month, and then in April when we actually purchase the bond, so that will be our 1 year. So I'll report those numbers twice a year.
Is this a table that's yours or finance put together?
Finance, yeah, Tracy helps me put that together, or Tracy puts that together and allows me to use it.
It might be useful to add a column at the end saying like percent spent to date,
Yes,
or something like that.
yep, sure.
And whether or not that includes your encumbrances, which it probably should. Just to keep an eye on it.
Will do. Super. All right, kind of our last agenda item is a bit of a new initiative. Earlier in the year, Mel England from the sustainability effort gathered people and part of the community climate resilience framework. They identified some things that they were hoping that we could accomplish under the bond projects. So in partnership with the Sustainability Commission, our bond projects will be tracking some of our, efforts in sort of the ecological, environmental categories. We're going to be tracking in 3 areas: water use, stormwater management, and green infrastructure is 1. Biodiversity and habitat connectivities 2. And then native-friendly maintenance and education. So the tracker is a bit of a tool that we will use at the start of these projects and then annually to say, how are we meeting some objectives within the city to plant native plants, to manage how are we tracking water? Are we reducing our water use? Are we using it in a wise way? And then, as far as diversity, how are we trying to encourage some diversity in our parks? Are we planting things that might attract different types of, wildlife and even visual diversity and biodiversity? So we want to, partner with this effort and say, what can we do with these bond projects? So our 10 bond projects will be using the ecological guidelines and tracker on a year-to-year basis. And we hope that we can report some really favorable, things that we've done to our parks to be really thoughtful about how we're supporting sustainability, and as well as doing some things that are very encouraging for climate and encouraging this, some resiliency in our parks. So we have worked very closely with Mel and her colleague Colton on a tracker. They've done a really good job with it. Adrian and Tyler went to the Sustainability Commission earlier this month, and they have finalized this tracker. So we'll need to talk with Mel and implement the tracker probably within the next couple months. So we're excited about this. I'm particularly excited because this is an area of interest of mine. So any really comments about that? Any other ways that we could work with anyone else? Jenna?
Yeah, just one thing that came to mind when you were talking about this is, I don't know how this kind of framework aligns with site certification, which is like the version, it's kind of like LEED, but for instead of buildings, it's for landscapes. But it could be interesting if we're already trying to meet this, if maybe certain parks are also sites certified. I mean, it would have to be the right park and the right level of improvements, but it could just be something to look into, and potentially the landscape architects that you're working with on the project would know whether that would apply to certain projects.
I think that's a great idea, Jenna. I would love to learn more. Would you mind just sending maybe Adrian and I an email with any other information we could look into?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be great. I just found out Jenna from our Parks and Rec Commission is a landscape designer. And I was like, what? I've got this resource in my back pocket and I didn't know about this. So thank you.
Elizabeth, do you have anything to add on this? You're a part of this initiative.
Yeah, I was actually just searching through my notes. So I actually want to check in with Mel and see, because I think I've heard this come up a couple of times, but I don't want to speak on her behalf and say that, hey, this is how they design that. So I want to check in with her, but I do think that it was on their radar, although in what capacity, I'm not confident.
Yeah,
that was very helpful, I can tell.
Yeah.
It's definitely our goal to give this to our design teams to meet this criteria.
I know that in just talking with the community at various events, like sustainability is one of the top, like they always have a hand in that. Especially when I was talking through like public art initiatives for South Broadway, a lot of times sustainability came up. So I feel like the community is really gonna value this and be really excited about it.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is an opportunity for us to also work with you, the communications team, to really find out what would we want to say about this? How can we promote what the city's doing? So we want to get a baseline initially with this tracker and say, where are we now?
Yeah.
That way we can really say, where are we in a year? And some things are going to be more challenging to track, but we're going to do our best and see where we can go and make, do some things in iterations if we need to. So I'm excited about this one, so.
We're also trying to work through all of this with the council direction of no more than 10% of turf can be converted into xeric or native. So
Yeah.
it's tricky, but we're trying to meet as many goals as we can.
Yeah. Great. Next steps. So preparing for city council in a couple weeks to present the Rotolo construction contract. And then our next meeting is October 23rd. One of the things I wanted to talk to the group about today was we have 2 meetings, one in November, one in December, that land on holidays. So I'm curious how you'd like to handle that. Do you want to cancel the meetings? Do you want to reschedule them? Would you like me to instead, I'm happy to provide a little email summary of what's been going on. I'm open for suggestions, but wanted to address this sooner rather than later. Any preferences?
I think a summary would be good.
Email summary? I got 1 vote for email summary. Anyone else feel differently? Raise your hand for email summary.
Yeah, I think email summary is the way to go.
Email summary? Okay.
Maybe with a specific time window for any questions, so it doesn't
Oh, good point.
stay open.
Okay. So you will see that I will cancel these meetings but I'll just provide the email summary sometime probably within that holiday week. So you can spend your holiday reading my summary.
It's nice of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think looking even more further ahead into 2026, we can decide how often we would like to have these meetings. If we feel like monthly satisfactory, totally fine. If we feel like, perhaps we would get more out of every other month, that's okay too. So just kind of in my mind, like how do we best use our time? And with these projects probably being a lot more spaced out with some of the activities, there might not be maybe as much to report. So maybe every other month might be the way to go in the future. So it's just something I'm thinking about. I'll probably bring it up again with this committee as we really hone in on all of our project timelines. So something I'm just thinking about for 2026. So, and that's all I have for today. Is there anything else that came up while we were talking people wanted to address? Cool. Well, thank you for your time today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.